This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to go ahead and put together the Age of the Primes Superion figure. As you can see, most of the Aerialbots here are in jet form, except for, of course, Silverbolt, because Silverbolt's a pain in the ass to transform. Actually, not that bad of a pain in the ass, but, you know, enough that I don't feel like doing it. If you want to see that transformation, you can check my video. That being said, let's take a look at this. So as we did before, we've got the torso area that we will put together by adding the chest. As you might recall, we have a couple slots here and a couple tabs right there. We've also got this little piece with the peg, and you basically have to stick the peg in his ass. So you're going to be pegging Silverbolt to create Superion. So we go ahead, we slide those pegs into place. Then we have to push this part into the hole. The chest will flip up. You'll see like these square pegs and these tabs will fit into here. And those other little tabs kind of touch onto that. So that gives us our torso. Oh shoot, his ear came off. If you might recall, I had problems actually transforming this guy back into robot mode or vehicle mode because of this head, because it doesn't really slide into place properly very well. So let's go ahead and start off with the legs. We will take our friend here, turn the leg around. Again, 2 pegs, 2 tabs, 2 holes, 2 slots. Now, what we have to do is, of course, transform him into his leg mode, which is just pull the back down, pull that back, and then we also pull that back as well, the nose cone, and slide his head down into there like so. Pull the wings back, pull the tail feathers back. Tail feathers. Now, so when we slide this into place, by the way, this is going to close that front part. So there we go. I've got his wing gun, or his guns on his sides like that. Honestly, since this is going to be this leg here, I'm going to pull that gun out, and I'm going to just stick it over on that side so that it's not in the way here. We will take our other leg part. Same thing. Pull that back, thread it forward, just like going into robot mode. Push his head up there. Move that back out of the way. Pull his wings back. By the way, we got tabs and slots on the wings too on both of these guys so that they go all the way back. And then we do the same thing. Push! And it's in. We'll also fold those back out of the way as well. And once again, I'm going to take the gun that's on the inside wing and move it over to the outside of the leg, just to get it out of the way. It would have been nice, actually, if they had designed this to have more storage for these weapons. But of course they didn't. That being said, we've got our 2 legs here. We'll pop them up. So this actually uses the same kind of combining system as the Combiner Wars did. So all we need to do is just slide this over like that. And make sure... And it's supposed to lock into place. Same with the other side. And because we got anchor rockers, we can put him up here like this. I'm going to raise the camera a little bit. Now, we have his arms. And I have the arms on the wrong side. So for this arm, we will take slingshot here. As you note, there are a couple square pegs here and a bunch of slots. A couple square pegs and slots, that's so you know how to put it on there. This little black part here will go into there and cause him to be able to be split in half. Much like they did with Menasor arms. So we push that all the way down. Fold his wings back. No good places to put his guns, however. Okay, technically you could put it there. And now, if everything went well, we can split them in half. So we pull that apart. Like that. And try to get that to go into the joint. Oh, shoot. Same with the other side. And voila. Now this, again, we slide this into here. This little slot there locks it onto there. And honestly, this is a big pain in the ass to get apart later on. Oh, we will also, before I forget, we're going to fold the wings back out of the way. And boom, we slide that down. And now he's got arms. He's the one-armed man. Or bot. Here is Superion's gun. Basically, if you take the handgun from Silverbolt and put it onto here, it creates an extra long gun that fits in his hand like so. And looks really kind of stupid. So now we take Fireflight here. And we're going to attach him the same way we did Slingshot. However, I'm going to point out right now that the first time I tried to do this, it didn't go well. As you may recall from my review, I had a lot of trouble trying to get him to split apart just with my hand. So that trouble did in fact happen with the first time I tried to do this way. Which actually, here we go. Ah, it worked that time. Okay, the first time I tried to do that, the arm was still attached and it popped off and yeah, it wasn't pretty. So now we got that arm put together. And we'll slide that into place there. So that is our Superion combined together. Articulation-wise, the head is actually on a ball joint, so he can look down. He can kind of almost glance up. And he can turn his head all the way to the side, even backwards if you want. Also, if you're feeling really kind of frisky, you can open up the landing gear and give him a wacky little ponytail. The arms here rotate at a 360. There is a ratchet joint in there. However, I can easily see, well, yeah, you can see right there, it's kind of loose already. So it's not a particularly strong ratchet joint, unfortunately. You can also ratchet his arm out sideways. And once again, you can already see where it's not a particularly strong ratchet joint that way either. The elbow bends at a 90-degree angle. And the fist can spin around. And technically there's even a hinge here, so you can do a little bit in action here. But that's because of transformation, not because Hasbro wanted to give us that bonus. He can, in fact, spin at the waist, which is kind of impressive. Glad they left that in there. The skirt pleats do come up so that you can, in fact, get him a big old step forward. Like that, 90 degrees. You can go all the way backwards. And get his arms out of the way. He can do the splits. We're not going to try to do the front and back splits because these things are obviously going to get in the way. We do have a thigh cut. So we got the thigh rotation there. We got 90 degrees at the knee. And of course, we have the ankle rocker. It's a little bit too bad that the feet don't kind of move forward and back also. Because then you're still kind of trying to figure out how to get him into a good action pose. But there we go. That's a pretty decent action pose. I will say this though. When I start doing it like this, if you've ever seen the anime Princess Principal, there's a scene where this old guy like just kicks this little orphan girl, and this kind of makes me think of that. Just bring your foot up and go boom. It's a terrible thing to say. Whoops. Unfortunately, again, while the knee is supposed to lock into place, it is not doing a particularly good job of it. Because in order to take it off, you should push this up and slide it out. But since it's not sliding all the way down to lock into place anyway, it doesn't really matter. So overall on our Superion here, I think he actually looks really good. I do think he's better than the Combiner Wars one, just because he is more cartoon accurate. And while Combiner Wars did do some interesting things with the limbs, in order to, one, make it so that you'd use any of the Transformer figures as a limb. Well, not any of the Transformers, but any of the Aerialbots as a limb. And they had it designed so that the legs became the elbow joints, or the knees, kind of. It was very floppy. It was loose. There wasn't really a whole lot of stability in those combiners. This one looks a lot better, much more closer to the cartoon version, and like I said, just looks nicer. Obviously, there are some differences from this one to the cartoon, and there is I believe DNA Designs put together a add-on kit that will allow you to make him look even more accurate towards the cartoon if you want. I'm not going to buy that because I think this is good enough as it is, and their kits are starting to get kind of expensive. That being said, if you want it, you should get it. I know somebody on my previous review for Fireflight had mentioned that he wanted to get Superion, and as of at least when I'm recording this, the Silverbolt is still available for purchase on their website. It is in stock. So if you want it, you might want to jump on that because it's back ordered on Entertainment Earth, and I don't know about Amazon. I didn't bother checking because, to be honest with you, I do kind of like supporting the smaller toy businesses over Amazon if I can. Well, I will say this, however, the only issue with him really is that the back of the legs are really looking awful. And they tried to mimic what the front of the legs should look like with those inserts that pop into place. I mean, they did the same things with Menasor, so it's not like it hasn't been done before. It's just unlike Menasor, there is so much more kibble on the back of this guy's calves than there are on Menasor's. You know what I mean? Just because so much of the jet has to hang out in the back. And that's kind of a shame, really. I mean, also, we're stuck with the nose cone for the Concorde there also on top, just sitting around doing nothing. But like I said, overall, I think it's good. I think this is a nicely made Transformer. I do wish they'd done a better job with the gun because the gun looks stupid that way and it's too long. It's just way, way too long in my opinion. For my display, I will actually take the end of it off and just stick it on that hole at the top because it is just too long and looks ridiculous. But why don't you guys tell me what you think in the comments below, and if you've got him or if you want him or if you're trying to get him. I would like to see a Generation 2 version put out. Like they were kind of starting with the Stunticons, even though we're still waiting on 2 more of those to finish that off, Hasbro. Come on, let's get it over with, shall we? But if you did enjoy this look at the Superion combining together, please feel free to transform that like button. And if you'd like to see more of my nonsense in the future, you can subscribe. I thank you for watching. Peace and love.